Good. How are you? Thank you for coming on the show.
Good. Thank you for having me.
I've got my mate John Escobar, who also lives in Melbourne. He's a
Bro.
Hello.
director, writer, and photographer who loves Giallo. So I thought he'd be the perfect co-host for this as well.
Oh, amazing.
In terms of starting off, I kind of wanted to ask you in your own words. Can you tell me a little bit about your book, $8 for an Autumn Moon?
Yeah, so my book is like a mini movie, basically, that has eight characters, hence the eight dolls. I used the title Eight Dolls for an Autumn Moon, kind of like a riff off of the Mario Bava movie $5 for an August Moon.
Cool.
And I'll show it to you since we're on camera
Finally, I
here.
get to see the book. They don't have it here.
It's even got that Giallo font. It's even got that
Yeah.
Suspiria font. I love it.
Exactly. I
I
have my
love it.
little Dario Argento homage. I even put the Un Film di Kristin Gallegos
Oh,
as my little
beautiful.
homage to him too. So I have
Beautiful.
all my homages to the directors and the different movies. And I just made like a mini Giallo movie with my eight girls. And there's one guy in it that plays a dual role as the boyfriend of one of the girls and a killer. And it's basically these eight girls that are in the fashion industry. The main character is a fashion photographer, and then the other girls in the group are her model muses, and there's already been some like murders within their realm, and so they're trying to figure out what's going on and trying to solve the mystery before they start getting offed. So the whole book is kind of like these characters are intertwined, interacting with each other, and there's dialogue in it, there's inner monologues, there's illustrations. It just kind of takes you through this entire movie, so it's just like in chronological order.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
that's the gist.
the drawings are by Dawn Aquarius, right?
Yeah, she's like one of
Cool.
my best friends, and she's such an amazing illustrator. And we have been talking about collaborating on something forever. And I was like, this will be the perfect kind of beginning to our collaboration. So she did like one portrait of each character, which is really cool.
Do you feel like you could ever make a movie directly off of it?
I mean, I feel like I could. I would need someone to help me with the writing. I'm not a great writer, so like I had my friend do all the text for it. Like I kind of gave her like an outline of like what I wanted and what I was going for and kind of like what each character was kind of going through. And then she is such a great writer, so she kind of like took my little outline and made it into this like really amazing sort of like inner monologue of each girl and the horror that they're dealing with internally. And then we wrote like a really nice synopsis. And I had my friend Ian Svenonius, who's like a legend. He did the foreword for the book, which was fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
That's how I
Yeah.
found out about you because I'm a big fan of Chain and the Gang. I think it's one of
Oh,
the best
amazing.
bands ever. Yeah.
Yeah, Ian is the best. I love him so much. So yeah, I feel like this is kind of like the best treatment for a movie
Yeah.
ever. It kind of has it all. I just need
It's,
to
it's
get
sort
like
of a proof
someone
of
to like
concept. It's a sort of a proof of concept of sorts because I'm looking at it right now. It's just beautiful. You even got that bright red, that profondo
the
rosso
blood.
Mario would do. So it's beautiful. I
Yeah.
love it.
Thank you.
In terms of your love for Giallo, do you find that the models that you work with and I guess the people around you share that love? Because obviously John and I bonded over Giallo, right?
Yeah.
But over here, we don't really have a lot of people, even our filmmaker friends, that really like to watch it.
I know it's kind of a bit rare, but I did find my little niche group of people that are into it. And I feel like the scene here in LA with Ian and myself and Alex Brown, who's in the book, and all these other girls, Dawn Aquarius, there's a group of us that are very into weird movies and different genres of
Yeah.
movies. And so our group is very much into this. And Alex is very knowledgeable about it. And with the music, you know, all the soundtracks are so amazing. And she's a music supervisor for movies and she's a DJ. So it was just like kind of perfect to cast her for this. And then Dawn and I kind of bounced ideas back and forth because I would just always be like, what do you think about this? Like I needed my people who are really like Jallow heads, you know? And my friend who did makeup for one of the vignettes in New York is a big Jallow person as well. So it was kind of like a good little group to bounce ideas off of and like to incorporate and do a project together. But some of the models had no idea about any of it, and I kind of got them into it, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of when the last Giallo movie was made, actually, because
Pretty sure it was probably Opera. It was the
you
last,
reckon?
the last
Yeah,
big Giallo, the last like blockbuster Giallo film was probably Opera.
totally. Yeah, you're probably right. But I feel like people
Sadly.
have been trying to make them sense here and there. Like, I feel like, did you guys see Maxine yet?
No, I
Oh,
actually.
I've been meaning to see it. Been
Yeah.
meaning to see it.
Okay, because there's a lot of Giallo tropes in there, and I feel like they were doing some homages, and I liked it. I thought it was great. I think you guys should watch it and tell me what you think, if you think it's a
No,
Giallo or
I've
not.
heard really good things about that movie actually.
Mm.
Yeah.
He showed me. I'm a little bit squeamish, but I love Giallo not for the gore of which is always present, but I love it for the stories and the vibes and the atmosphere and the art, right?
Operatic.
Because of the intersection between art and all that. But yeah, he told me to watch opera, and I got about halfway through and I had to stop. I don't even think I got halfway through. I loved it.
It's a crazy ending.
So
I love the
much,
fucking
man.
ending.
Like,
It's probably the
Yeah,
best.
that one's crazy.
It's the best Dario Argento ending. Opera has the best ending, I
I
feel.
haven't got
Yeah.
to it yet.
That and Tenebrae,
Yeah.
like Tenebrae as well, has the
Oh,
best.
Tenebrae is incredible.
You have a lot of influence from Tenebrae in your work.
Yeah, I love Tenebrae. I mean, Dario Argento is just such a big influence, and like even with like I incorporated myself as the killer in one of the vignettes, so to get those like really great POV shots. So I had to. So and I know that he did that in his films, so it's kind of a little homage there. But I like put on the black gloves and the black leather jacket, and I was like shooting with my left hand, which is not the hand that I shoot with, and because I had to stay consistent with the killer.
Oh,
So I
right.
had the blade in my hand, and then I was shooting with this hand, and then there was a scene where I'm like choking her, and like it's just really hilarious to do that. And we were actually on the streets here in Los Angeles on a Friday night, so it was really hilarious with like crazy lighting. People were walking by like, what is going on back there? But you know, it was super
That
fun.
would be difficult because with one hand, because you shoot on film primarily, don't you?
Yeah.
So what camera did you use for that, just to do it with one hand?
I mean, I alternate between different. I mean, we definitely took our time. It was just me and the model. It
Oh, I
was
see,
not
I
like a
see.
team of people. So we were just like shooting these pickup shots this one night. So it wasn't like I had to really like be shooting a ton, but I was shooting on different cameras. I shoot on like a couple of like old Canon SLRs, and then I
beautiful.
also have my point and shoots that for some more difficult shots like that, you know, where I can just
Yeah,
kind of
of
like,
course, you need it for that.
yeah. I kind of was just alternating and seeing what worked best, and yeah, but it was really fun to do stuff like that because I've never shot anything like this before, so it was cool.
Yeah, I mean, are there any books like this, like that are coming out now?
I don't think so. I mean, that's kind of why I wanted to do this project. So I was like, I don't think anyone's done a Giallo book before, and I was kind of looking into it, and I had never seen anything. And I don't know that there's a ton of like movie books like this either. So I just thought it'd be kind of unique, and I'd shoot pretty cinematically, and my stuff is pretty narrative driven. So I thought it would be kind of the perfect thing. And also like all the girls in these movies like dress like me, kind of like I wear my like thigh high boots and my little skirts, and so I styled the book with my own closet and stuff that I bought like for the book for myself. So just kind of like the aesthetics of the genre and the sexiness of the girls and their hair and makeup, it just works so well with like my personal and, you know, my photography aesthetic. So it was kind of the perfect marriage.
But you have this Daria Nicolodi thing going on with your eyes here.
Oh yeah.
So I do see the influence. I see the influence.
Thank you.
That's cool. You live and breathe this world.
She lives. It's Giallo. The Giallo lifestyle.
I'm living the Giallo lifestyle without the murder. No murder.
Hey, we don't know that. We don't
know that.
Yeah.
We haven't read the full books, so we actually don't know that. So what is your like top, I guess your top one Giallo movie?
It's hard to say. I mean, I honestly love Argento, but I really love Sergio Martino. I don't know if you're into his movies. Okay, so I actually got to meet him during the process of making this book. So Jim Branscombe, who does Cinematic Void, I don't know if you know of this guy. He does the Giallo Januaries in Los Angeles. And he was doing one the year that I started this book, and I had only shot 2 of the girls, and I was going to see this double feature of Torso and The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward. So 2 of his like big ones. And he was going to be there. He's like in his 80s. Alex and I, who's in the book, she and I like went to go see the movies. And our friend was like, oh, we're with Sergio. You should just come and have dinner with us. So we ended up going and having dinner with Sergio Martino. And like, I was like, well, you know, I never do this and talk about myself to people, but I'm like, I'm just going to say it because I'm making this book and he's one of the big inspirations. So I like brought up the project, and everyone at the table was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I ended up keeping in touch with all those people. And that was kind of like such a cool moment because Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward is probably one of my favorites, and All the Colors of the Dark as well. But of course, I love Tenebrae and I love Deep Red, and there's just so many. The Case of the Bloody Iris. There's like hundreds of these
Yeah.
movies, and during the process of making this, I was in a Giallo K-hole. I was watching like 100 of these movies, and sometimes over and over and over again. Like I felt like a psycho, but I like really was trying to get like screenshots of like cool things I wanted to include and like homages and ways of styling and whatnot. So it was kind of just like I was really fully in that zone.
So speaking of the Giallo K-hole, which I don't think those two words have been said together in that process before, did you have to do a Giallo detox afterwards? Like what
I did.
nightmares after that?
I definitely needed to take a break, and I honestly felt like, yeah, I was just like only consumed with those movies, and I really wasn't watching a ton of other stuff. Like I'd have my TV shows in there, but after that, I was like, I got to take a break. I cannot watch these movies for a while. Like
Yeah.
it's really taken over my life. And after you do a project like this too, which was like 2 years of work from the like inception of the project to like actually the book coming out, it just like took over my life. I felt like I was not that social. I was not dating. You know what I mean? I was like, this is ruining my life. No, just kidding. But I was like, I think I need to like take a minute. Don't watch any of these movies. Don't think about the book unless I'm having to like, work on stuff for, the press and whatnot. But it just, yeah, it was a detox for sure.
It's a tough one though with watching, because Giallo, you would want to watch them at night to get that real, authentic experience. Same with Grindhouse or any of that. And like, I think that's half the battle. But like, I can't do that because I get hella nightmares. So like, he does. Like John, every night he has this crazy like setup with all these glowing like little monitor TVs and stuff or whatever.
CRTs. And
oh my god!
And he just sits there. I've never been to this place. It looks like a temple. It's like a golden temple of light. And he just sits there and watches movies on like a small little monitor surrounded by all these bigger monitors.
Yeah. I literally search for the VA. I usually buy like the Japanese VHS of these films.
Oh, that's so cool.
I put it on like on my CRT TV wall and have it like basically playing on my CRTs while I'm editing.
Oh wow, that's way better than what I'm doing.
But yeah, and then I witness the film like that, and it inspires me while I'm working. So that's literally what I'm doing.
I do wonder if like when you're desensitized to like a Giallo movie, I wonder if like you have to limit your Giallo intake, because if you're too used to it and you're numb to it, then the experience becomes numb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't know. I kind of like, I think I was so focused on the different aspects of it that I wasn't like letting the slasher aspect of it, the murders really get to me, because I was so focused on like those tiny details and rewatching them to like, I remember this one scene and I really want to write this down because I want to do a shot like this, or so I feel like I was more doing it. I was in research mode. I was like less freaked out about the whole,
I felt it's a different experience each Giallo film, because when I watched opera for the first time, that cinematography for the crows, like the crow POVs,
my gosh,
sweeping throughout the opera, it's just
incredible.
It never ceases to amaze me, each of these films.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
But it's a different experience each time, where I feel like you don't get desensitized to it, because the scores are so unique as well.
I mean, I love the Suspiria score, of course, but also Tenebrae is pretty creepy and cool. It's like a little bit more, it's a little bit more like synthy, but it's good. I love it. But all the scores, there's like Ennio Morricone that does like amazing scores for these movies, which is like pretty amazing. And like Piero Umiliani, I love his scores. So the music is great. And sometimes it's like super groovy because they're like out at the club. I love that about these movies too. They're just like, there's like, they cut to a scene and like someone's naked, or they cut to another scene and they're just like grooving out on the club, like dance floor. And like, it's just like the most random scene. Sometimes like a girl will have like a different hairdo, like a completely different wig on, and there's like no explanation. She'll just show up in a shot with like short hair, and you're just like, okay. So
I just love there's no continuity in these films.
No, there's no continuity at all. And like some of it makes no sense, but it's like so entertaining to me. I think it's so funny. And like that's always like the hottest chicks like ever. And I love the sort of like psychosexual vibes of it as well, because it's not just like straight up horror, but I think that makes it a little bit more interesting too. Just to like, from the regular sort of horror films, there's like an element of like high fashion and psychosexual thriller. I don't know. It's interesting to me.
Yeah, I was trying to find out. My favorite composers are Goblin, Morricone, and Lalo Schifrin.
Oh yeah.
From like, I mean, he's known for the Mission Impossible one, but I think his best score is the bus driver theme in Dirty Harry.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah.
My favorite score of all time.
No, Scorpio's theme. Scorpio's
also Argentinian, I think, just like me. So I'll take that. I'll take that.
Hey.
I'm trying to think if he actually has ever delved into like the genre, because I don't know if he ever has.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't really know where Giallo started and Grindhouse ended, or I'm not too sure.
I think Giallo started in like 1964. Early 60s was like the first one, right? I think it was Mario Bava. His first one was The Girl Who Knew Too Much. And that was, did I write this down? 1963. I was going to forget that. And then he did Blood and Black Lace after that, which was kind of like the first Giallo with all the tropes, like the masked killer and the black gloves and, sort of all the tropes that we know and love now. And then after that, it's sort of Argento took over with The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. But I think it kind of like, that was like that amazing one. And then like it goes through until like the mid 80s, I feel like that's like really deep with this type of Giallos. But beyond that, I don't know. I mean, how late do you think it went?
I don't know. Maybe it never ended. Because like Dario Argento is still alive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in a Gaspar Noé film recently.
Really?
Yeah, it's an incredible performance in that.
What movie? Now I need to see that.
Yeah, Vortex, Gaspar Noé. It's incredible.
Okay.
That's so sick. What was your introduction to photos? Did you always start in that field?
No. So I moved to New York in 2004 to be a makeup artist. So I was actually a makeup artist in the fashion industry for a really long time, until I started shooting for fun in about 2014, 2015. I just like not trained, obviously, just like picked up a camera for fun. I was hanging out with a bunch of cool people because I was also doing nightlife. So I was like DJing and throwing parties in New York as well as doing makeup. And so I just like knew people from like all of those things, and all these hot chicks were my friends. And I was just like, can I just take photos of you? And I got a film camera and I started shooting them for fun. And Instagram started to really like pop off around that time, I feel like. And I started to like build a following through doing makeup with like celebrities and stuff. So I just started posting my work on there, and then brands and magazines started reaching out, and it just sort of like organically started that way. And then I was really burned out from doing makeup, and I decided to eventually quit doing makeup full time and focus on photography and develop my skills better. And I feel like you can't do both, because makeup, I was working like every single day. You just don't have time for it really. So I had to make a decision, which was crazy. And then I moved here to LA in 2019. And I feel like I've really gotten to like fully focus on it and hone it and push it further than I was doing in New York. So it's been a long time coming.
Yeah. Which side of the US do you prefer?
Well, I loved New York, and I never thought I would leave New York. It was like really my city. It was so much fun. It was like the best time of my life. But I think that's like a city to be in when you're young. And as you get older, I don't know, I just felt like LA was calling me as a photographer, because my work is it feels very late 60s, early 70s Los Angeles more so than New York. I mean, you would agree, right?
Yeah,
I feel like it makes
sure.
more sense. And I feel like the locations here are just so incredible, like all the mid-century homes and like the old buildings and the light and the weather. It just kind of made more sense. And I just felt like I was starting to get more work out here. So I made the jump. Yeah,
like there's all those classic movies. The one that kind of sticks out in my head, crazy movie, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Oh my God, that's one of my favorites.
There's a real Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, because I think what he knows about Giallo, I know about Grindhouse, and like, it's crazy, bro. Like,
I mean, it's Giallo adjacent. There's some murder going on in that
there
too.
is, but there's a real like psychedelic kind of, even like, I don't know, like Beatlemania kind of vibe going on there too. It's really wild. Yeah.
Funny that you brought it up, because I just had a big party for the book finally in May, and the theme of it was Giallo meets Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. And I had it at this like incredible mansion in the hills, and had Dawn, Ian, and our friend DJing all 45s, like 60s groovy music. So it really felt like the party in that movie.
Dude, give us an invite the next time you do that.
I know.
I'll literally fly to LA.
But we've been talking about doing a road trip from LA to New York this year. But like, yeah, that sounds like the best party ever.
Whoa.
Oh my God, it was so much fun. It truly was like the party of the year. It was so much fun. And like Ian's band Escapism played, and so did our friends Olum. And they were performing on the balconies looking over the crowd. Like it was just insane. Overlooking all of Los Angeles, like the pool, everyone dressed crazy. It was awesome.
Yeah, I saw I don't know if it was for this party. I saw were the Black Lips there as well? Were they there?
Wait. Actually, Cole and Zumi might have been there, yeah.
Yeah. I follow them on Instagram. I saw them play when they came down here, and they were so good.
Cool.
I love their work as well. I've seen you've shot also Jim Jarmusch as well, and Mr. Pharmacist, who's been on this show actually.
Oh yeah, yeah. Greg's a friend of mine. He actually lives down the street from me. We live on the same street.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
That's so
but
sick.
Yeah, I met Jim that night that I took that shot through Ian and Greg, and we all hung out. It was his like solo art show that he was having in Los Angeles, and we Ian was DJing this party, and he's like, we got to get Jim to come to the Cha-Cha Lounge to this party. And so we all convinced him, all the girls convinced him to go, and he showed up. We all hung out, and then we became friends. I mean, we've been following each other for years, but we'd never met. So now we chat. He has the book. He loves the book, which is awesome.
He's the best. That Coffee and Cigarettes is probably the reason that most of my mates even do the kind of movies that they do. I reckon. Yeah, I mean, that movie is just groundbreaking.
So good. And so actually, cool. RZA, who was in that movie, was actually at his art show too.
Oh my! The RZA himself.
That's so fucking cool.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's so dope.
He did the soundtrack to Ghost Dog.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they already have that working relationship.
How did you and Ian actually meet?
I think we just met when I moved out to LA. I don't think I ever met him in New York, although we were in a similar scene in New York as well. I mean, he never lived there, but he'd play shows there a lot. But when I started coming out here, because I'm actually from California, so I grew up in Long Beach, which is outside of LA, but LA County. So I come to visit, like throughout the time I lived in New York, I'd be out here, a couple times a year at least. But I started to come out more and more in like 2016, 17, 18, kind of feeling out if I wanted to move here. And I got into this like really cool scene that he's also in. And that's how we met, just like going to shows, throwing parties and DJing and stuff like that. So
when you went to New York, did you say it was 2009 or 2005?
2004.
2004.
A really long time ago.
So you actually lived through what they're trying to recreate here, the indie sleaze.
Yes. Oh, the indie sleaze era, big time. I was like very much a part of that. I was going out like every single night of the week. We had a different party to go to. We were insane. And there's no evidence of it because we didn't have iPhones. Nobody was taking photos and videos of this. So you just kind of like got in your crazy outfit and showed up, and like, if you went to a party like the Misshapes party, you'd get your photo taken by the wall and you get put up on the website or something. But like, it was very of that era.
That's awesome.
So maybe that's for the best because we were all very messy.
Yeah, no, I've seen there's a photographer who documented that time, and he's prominent for doing that. I can't remember his name, but he has
Silver Snake.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was even shooting stuff in LA before I moved to New York. He was doing all the parties out here, and then he like documented all of the indie sleaze era after that.
He was like following the party trail, right?
There was a bunch of those guys though at the time that were just like at every party, and you'd get put up on their website if you were at these parties and stuff. It was pretty funny. But that was an amazing time to live in New York. Honestly, I'm really grateful I was there during that time. I'm probably much older than you both, so I was during that era. But yeah, it started to change. I mean, as you live in a city for a long enough time, the city starts to change, the scene changes. Like New York is so expensive to live in now that people don't live in the city. Everyone's in Brooklyn and Queens and like outer boroughs and spread out. Like when I lived there, all the poor kids like me were living in the Lower East Side and could afford it. Shit. And like we all just partied together and we all lived in the city, and now it's like nobody lives in the Lower East Side. It's crazy. So a lot has changed since, 20 years ago, basically.
Yeah, I mean, similar here as well. Like there were just things that you could do when things weren't as expensive, to rent a warehouse, or just there was an abundance of parties and people living in these like industrial areas. And now it's kind of, I mean, gentrification is basically completely taken over here. I've heard that about certain sections of New York as well, but I'm still kind of holding out that by the time I get there, I'm 29, that there's still
okay, yeah.
And I need to find where the pulse is, there has to be something.
Yeah, you got to do it. I mean, I'm old and jaded. That's what I am. Like,
Nah, I don't be like that.
Every person that's been there for a long time is like, it's so different now. But,
yeah, well, we're like that. We're like that, and we're talking about 4 years ago, and now, you know what I mean? Totally. We're all jaded. I mean, New York does have such a rich history even before that era. Obviously, like the 70s were huge over there.
60s there, 70s, every decade has been so cool, but I just feel like the internet and social media did change a lot of things as far as like subcultures and countercultures. They don't really exist as much because everyone's just like on their phone and they're an influencer and they're doing this. And it's like, I don't know, just it's not the same. You don't have to like find your people and your niche like you used to. Like I used to be like a raver in the late 90s. And then I was like an emo kid, like early emo kid. And like a goth, whatever. But you like found your people in your weird suburban towns just somehow through whatever in record stores, and you found your music and you found movies at Blockbuster, and it's just like the world is so different now.
It's gone and without ambiguity.
Yeah,
like we have one place here called Picture Search. Shout out there. It's the only place you can get VHS or DVDs.
And find Giallo films, because most of these Giallo films aren't available on streaming services here. I have to use a VPN to get Criterion Channel, for instance, to access some of these films. That's why Picture Search, the last video rental store in Australia, basically has access to all of these films.
Yeah. It's this old guy who just lives in the building, and the building is like, I think it's like a 5-story building.
It's falling apart.
It's falling apart, and the rooms are really, really narrow, and the movies are piled up. It's like if the Criterion Closet was like
literally the Criterion Closet.
But it's like if it just kept going and going and going and going and going. And it's amazing, the atmosphere there. The smell's not great, but everything else.
And you picture this. He looks like George Harrison, an older George Harrison.
Oh my God.
And he runs this video rental store, and you can't ask him too many. Cool. You can't ask him too many questions. Can't bother him.
You guys would like LA. There's a lot of places like that here. There's like a VHS place right by me. There's also like tons of record stores that also have VHSs and DVDs and cassettes and all that kind of stuff. I feel like it's like come back in a lot of ways here. Yeah. And like also the streaming services, like we have a lot of great streaming services that have tons of Giallo. That's how I watched everything, was streaming. Like I don't own any of them.
Isn't it? Shudder usually.
Yeah, there's like Shudder, there's Tubi. Yeah. You can find a lot on Amazon. There's like weird websites like Internet Archive that you can find stuff. I love
Internet Archive. So underrated. Like
so underrated.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to find, I don't know if you're familiar with this film, Gunja and Hess, I think it's Bill Gunn that directed it. I was trying to find that, and I had to find it at Picture Search.
Oh, yeah, I know what that is.
Dwayne Jones.
Yes.
The actress, yes. Night of the Living Dead. Incredible film. Inspired Sinners, obviously. But
totally. I just watched that, actually, Sinners. Did you guys like it?
I loved it.
I haven't seen it. Actually,
I loved it.
You're like, I don't watch that kind of gore.
There's a big resurgence of shooting on film again, because I try to do that with all of my work, shoot on film, especially with Sean Baker winning 4 Oscars, and that's obviously influenced more people to shoot on film as well.
Yes. So. Sean Baker is amazing. He actually loves Giallo movies, and I met him at the Sergio Martino thing that I just talked about. Shit. He was there. And he's been super supportive. And this was before he won all the Oscars, but he's amazing. And I really love his movies and his style of work. And I love that he supports independent cinemas and independent films. And he's really like pushing for that. He's awesome. He's really
He's always been a big advocate for film restoration. That's another thing I love. And archiving these beautiful Giallo pieces.
Totally.
Because I feel like preserving these films is just as important as, discovering them, because you really can't find any 4K restorations of them, because most of the negatives have been lost. So they have to find film prints that are often, degraded, because obviously film prints aren't as good as the negatives, and restore it from those film prints. And obviously you need money to restore these masterpieces.
Yeah.
And
I know he's a big advocate for that. He actually, I went to a screening of Christiana F., which is one of my favorite movies. Have you guys seen that? It's like that German heroine movie from 1980 or 81. And it's based on a true story. It's based on a book of this real person, Christiana F., that was like a 13, 14-year-old heroin addict and prostitute in Berlin. But it's an incredible film. And they just restored it and did a 4K restoration and premiere. And Sean Baker did the intro for it, which was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys have to watch that.
You can definitely see maybe in Anora there's elements of that, even though Anora is the furthest thing from a Giallo.
Yeah.
I mean, even just like the titles, from what I remember of that movie, I remember loving that movie like a lot. Like it was like the first time in maybe a year, because I don't actually go to the cinema that much. I'm a bit of a hypocrite. More of a YouTube on my phone type guy. But when I went to see that movie, I remember we went with a crew of like 15 people. We all just sat in a row. We all just watched it. My mate, our mate Aaron, watched it for the 6th time. I think he's now seen it 9 times. I think.
Oh my God. Anora?
Yeah, he loved it. I loved it as well. It was one of the few times like I was wowed, because I remember back in 2014 I saw like a double feature of Whiplash and Nightcrawler, and for me that was like peak. Like I hadn't experienced anything like that before. I left the theater going, this is amazing. I actually had it happen recently watching, funnily enough, the new Wes Anderson movie, which I didn't expect to even enjoy, but I fucking loved that movie. It was so fun.
Wait, which one?
The Phoenician Scheme.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet, but I love Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
He's definitely a big inspiration just because he's so niche and so specific. And he's like, you can always tell it's a Wes Anderson movie. Yeah. And that's what I try to do with my own work. I just feel like you got to find your own like specific sort of aesthetic and niche. And he's so that. And I love that about him. Very weird and quirky stuff, but I love it. And Anora, bringing up Anora again, Sean Baker does some homages to Jess Franco and Soledad Miranda, who he's obsessed with, which I'm also obsessed with. Like, I don't know if you've seen any of those movies, the Vampires Lesbos and
yes.
Eugenie Desage, She Kills in Ecstasy. I know he's like a huge fan, and those movies are amazing.
John told me that he posted a review of Deep Red recently. Yeah.
That he saw like a recent like restoration of Deep Red, and
oh, cool.
So I just knew that he loved Giallo from that. But I'm glad that he is getting all this attention now, because now that attention will be brought to his earlier work like Red Rocket, which I felt like under a lot of people's radar, and
Starlet
as well, and that's my personal favorite, Red Rocket, and I'm just glad that it can finally get the attention it deserves.
But I feel like also with him talking about all these movies, it's bringing attention to these movies again, which is great. Like Soledad Miranda, she, who's ever talking about this before? Like he's bringing her into like the sort of like lexicon again, which is cool. And like Giallo movies and Christiana F. Like a lot of people don't know these movies. So I think it's amazing to bring it to a new generation. That's
equally as important as restoring it, right? Like verbally bringing it back into the public consciousness. And a lot of people, when they become, I guess, when they get introduced into the public eye, they kind of are quick to forget, their roots or forget kind of where they came from. And that's a shame, because it's so nice to have people still rep, the underground.
But once it's in the consciousness again, then these distribution companies will have interest to restore them instead of a charity thing. Because I know some of the people at Criterion, it's only a small amount of people there, and they mostly do it out of passion, not out of profit.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's just not enough to restore all these classics.
Exactly. I mean, what I do love about LA too is there's all these indie movie theaters here, like sprinkled across the city. And Quentin Tarantino has a couple of them, with the New Beverly and the Vista, which he rescued during the pandemic. And so he does like all the programming for these two, I think especially New Beverly, but he does all the programming. And a lot of it is his own film reels from his own collection, which is awesome.
You read his cinema speculation book?
I haven't, but I really want to.
It's fucking awesome. It's so good.
Yeah, I heard it's amazing. Everyone that's read it has said it's so good. I mean, he's like the ultimate film nerd. I mean, he knows everything about everything. It's insane.
Yeah, he introduced me to I can't remember what it's called. Not personally, I've never met him, but obviously, I mean, what's it called? Rolling Thunder, which is a crazy fucking movie. If you haven't seen
I've
that,
never seen it.
Check that out. Have you ever seen him? Like, have you ever gone to the Beverly and seen him chilling at the back?
No, I wish. Well, I think during the pandemic, he like moved out of Los Angeles, and I don't know if I'm assuming he's back, but like I've never run into him. Unfortunately,
yeah, there's no like formal announcement that he's back in the vicinity. Yeah, like
yeah. I wish someone would rescue the ArcLight though. The ArcLight has been closed since the pandemic. It's like that big dome.
Oh, the Cinerama Dome, the original
Cinerama Dome.
Oh, I'm so that gets knocked down. I'll be so depressed. Even though I've never been there, I'll be so depressed.
So I'm fingers crossed that someone, maybe he'll rescue that one too. I heard it was being rescued, but they said it was supposed to open sometime this year, and it's been crickets. So I have no idea what's going on with it.
Shouldn't it be heritage listed so nothing happens to it?
I know you would think, right? Yeah, I mean it's something like that. Yeah,
it plays a huge role because that's they made that during the 60s, and I don't know if you knew this, Dan, but they made this gimmick called Cinerama where they had 3 projectors and they projected like Ben-Hur.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's insane.
3? That's so cool.
3 film projectors. Just imagine how fucking difficult that would have been.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I thought you meant Odorama from the John Waters thing that I think he with like the scratch and sniff shit.
Yeah, totally.
I can't remember. I think is it Female Trouble? Is that the one? I don't know actually. One of his movies.
I don't know which one it is. It might be Female Trouble or Pink.
It was in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Was it late 80s?
It was definitely after Pink Flamingo.
Yeah,
I think it was. I mean, those movies still hold up. And in like a world where we are desensitized to a lot of things in the media and just in general, like you can watch Pink Flamingos and still be pretty shocked and revolted that even exists.
I actually saw that in the movie theater for the first time recently at the Academy Museum has a movie theater, and they've been showing some incredible films there. And I hadn't seen it in so long, and you still are shocked when you see
it's a horrific film.
It truly is. It's crazy. I also saw a really amazing film from the 60s that's like rarely ever been seen called Smog, and it was shown there. It's an Italian movie, but it was filmed in Los Angeles, and it was filmed at LAX where I shot a vignette of my book at. It's called the Theme Building. It used to be a restaurant, and now it looks like the spaceship. When you pull up in LAX, the iconic spaceship looking thing. So the whole thing is like this Italian guy like flies into LA and he's like roaming around LAX, and then he gets a taxi and starts driving around town, and he meets these people, and it's really fucking weird, but it was amazing. And the score was amazing also by Piero Umiliani. And like they're just showing like really rare films now at the Academy, which is really cool. So I feel like we have it made in Los Angeles with the movies. It's like you can go see a movie every single day here with like a celebrity doing a Q&A or like the intro or something to it, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, that does not happen here. The best you get is somebody like wheeling out a fucking like I don't know, like a monitor, and in the monitor is some person on the other side of the world zoom in, or like a pre-recorded thing. Like Australia doesn't get its stuff straight from the studio.
We do have the Astor though. If we didn't have the Astor is like this 1920s theater that still projects on film and on 70
cool.
So we still have that. If that goes, then we're fucked. But
yeah, there's nothing else like that. I was going to say the National Theatre, but it's not a cinema. Damn. Yeah, that's literally the last things. Going into more about your work, in your words, what is like the key to taking like a great picture?
Well, I think for me, because I don't come from a technical background, I didn't go to photo school, I'm not like technically trained. I think for me, it's always been about the aesthetics and the composition and the lighting. And I like to create sort of a world in my photos, like location is very important to me. And the hair and makeup and the styling is very important to me. Like everything has to be just right. I'm very detail oriented. And so I feel like making a great picture is like really pulling all those elements together for me. I don't shoot in the studio. I'm not just like a white backdrop type of gal. Like I really need to have like an elaborate set or something and like a really amazing subject or subjects. So for me, it's like storytelling and colors and just things being in the right place. I don't know. I tend to like a movie. I tend to make like shot lists and details and tons of, just tons of lists. This is what I do. Like really just like plotting and planning everything out. I'm not much of a spontaneous shooter like I can be, but I really prefer to have things like mapped out. And that's how like I get my style.
Say you're working on a specific character and you've got all these notes about the character and all that. Do you sit down with the model and kind of get them to really understand the role that they're playing in the same way you would with an actor? And also on top of that, do you make it in a way that's like method? So like during the shoot, they don't break character?
I don't make them do method, but especially for this project, because it was like a movie, most of the girls in it also act. So they're not just models, and some of them are musicians and whatever. But I did brief everyone. Like I gave them movies to watch if they wanted to. You didn't have to. But I was like, this is the movie that inspired your character if you want to watch it. I gave them character backgrounds. I told them what their character was doing. Because like, for instance, some of the characters are bad girls. They're like, one girl is like blackmailing the other chick with like tapes and, extorting her for money. Like there's all these like subplots in here. So I was like, you got to get into these characters. You can't just be like cutesy and like sweet. You have to really like be a bad bitch. So I cast it accordingly, and all these girls are really good friends of mine. So I know them well and I've shot them many times over the years. So yeah, I like to always brief people, give them background, set up each shot and scene, and I put music on that like inspires. Like there was some Giallo soundtracks going on while we were shooting, which was like getting them into the mood as well. So yeah, it's really kind of like a movie set vibe.
That's so cool, actually. Do you believe in first shot is the best shot, or do you want to really like work on it till you get there?
I shoot really quickly, actually. I know when I have it. I think like working in fashion for as long as I did as a makeup artist, being on set for that long, and you see how different photographers work and you're just like, you got the shot, dude. Like, why are we still shooting this shot for an hour? Like you got it like at least 30 minutes ago, maybe before that. So like, when I started to shoot, I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. We're not playing this game. Like also with film, it's just more fun to just be a little bit more raw and spontaneous with it. Like, even though I set everything up, I like to be surprised and I like to just like get every angle. And then I feel like I have it. I don't need to beat a dead horse, basically. I try to shoot pretty quickly.
So are you selective with your shots since it's on film?
I am. I make sure everything is like set up the way that it needs to be set up. I get the initial shot that I had in my mind, and then I kind of go from there and like, I'll get this angle and this angle, I'll get further away, closer. I try to just like vary it. And I also usually shoot with like 4 or 5 cameras at a time. So I'm kind of like, I do black and white and color in different cameras, and the cameras shoot differently and it comes out differently. So I like to just, do a few on this one and then I'll put it down, do a few on this one, and changes it up. And then I always get like Polaroids on just a regular 600 Polaroid camera, just to have that like behind the scenes or extra stuff to be able to post, because that always gives like a different dreamy vibe. And then I've been shooting on the Andy Warhol sort of big shot Polaroid, which I don't know if you've seen, they have on my Instagram, but it's like
the Mamiya. Is it the Mamiya press?
It's not a Mamiya. You can shoot that kind of peel apart film with that.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they don't make the film anymore, so it's been expired since 2019, and so you have to hoard this film, and it's so expensive and hard to find. So I have a few boxes of it left. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna keep shooting it. It's like $300 or more at this point per pack of 10 frames, which is like
that.
Psycho.
But the look will be more unique because it's expired. It'll have those artifacts in the photo.
Totally. And if you get it like in the later, 2018, 2019, it comes out perfect. But I have shot some really old film and it comes out funky, but cool. It kind of has like a vintage filter almost on it, which is like fun. But yeah, I just try to vary it up. And I do shoot digital when needed for clients and stuff, or to set up a shot, I'll shoot it, make sure I got the lighting and everything right. And then I'll just pop it off with the film,
Yeah, because Escobar, I don't know how many like cameras he has.
52.
Yeah.
I collect film cameras, especially motion picture cameras. I really love motion picture film cameras. Most of my projects, if not all of them, are shot on film. So for client work.
Do you shoot 16 millimeter?
16 and recently 35.
Oh, amazing.
And Nora inspired me. I was like, you know what? I should just shoot 35 at this point.
Yeah,
totally.
But I actually did a Giallo-inspired music video for an indie artist, and we shot that on 16 mil. So
amazing.
That was the choice. And we convinced the label. The label's like, no, we're not doing it. I'm like, no, we are.
We're doing it. Yeah. The thing is you always have to convince clients that the film is going to be better. And they always pick the film. Every time I'm like, I'll shoot some digital and I'll shoot some film, but you're going to like the film better. I'll guarantee it. And they always like the film better. But it's like they need that safety net. They need to be able to see it when you're on set, and they need to have that, they don't trust the film. And also film is expensive.
And it's annoying because they want a monitor on set.
I know, and I hate that. I don't do it. To
do a monitor on these cameras is basically impossible.
Yeah.
When these cameras were manufactured, there was no HD monitors, so you just have to trust it. I told them you have to just trust the cinematographer and
exactly.
And
exactly.
Incredible.
I'm like, well, you like my work. You hired me for this.
Yeah.
This is all film. So just let me do my thing here, But they get nervous, so you got to give them both.
They're really nervous.
Yeah, it's dope listening to you guys talk about all this. Meanwhile, I'm like buying the cheap, like Ilford or whatever the fuck, like $25 one, and getting it developed, and it looked like shit actually.
The biggest fear that I have, though, is if the film lab that develops my motion picture stuff here closes down, I have to send the film overseas. That's
oh my god!
Because then it can get X-rayed. And then that's always a possibility that can happen. So that's my
absolutely. I mean, anytime I travel with film, you have to get it hand checked if you're at the airport, because it can't go through.
I tried to do that. They didn't let me, especially.
Really?
Yeah, I bought. Don't judge me. At the time, I was shooting Cine Still. Don't judge me. But I bought Cine Still I bought Cine Still to the airport, and I'm like, can you just hand check? And they're like, no. I'm like, why not? You could have drugs in this, for instance. And I'm like, really? And they put it through, and the photos came out horrible. So now every time I travel overseas, if I bring my Bolex with me, I don't know if you know the Bolex, the 16.
I love Bolex, yeah.
I buy the film in the country and develop it.
But you have to.
If there's a lab there, but you're lucky in LA. There's labs everywhere if you shoot on 16 mil or 35.
Well, there's only a few that do 16 and Super 8 here. There's like 2 or 3, I think, here left.
Well, the Kodak lab. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it's way more easy to do film stuff in the States for sure.
I've never heard of this before though. Like when you say the X-ray destroys the film, are you talking about in the same way that like if you expose the film or like had like a light leak, it does the same thing?
Literally, yeah, it exposes it to light, destroys it. And even if you expose the photos already and you haven't developed it yet, it will destroy those exposed photos.
Yeah, so you just ruins everything you just shot.
Nobody in the world knows this except for you two.
It's basically you might as well just get the film out of the camera and throw it down the drain at that point.
Yeah.
It's to the point I get so scared. But the first time I shot film with my cinematographer, the closest film lab to develop 16 mil was in Sydney, and I said, "No way, I'm risking an X-ray." And I drove all the way to Sydney.
How far is that?
Are you serious?
Yeah, man. This was for my first music video I did that for.
It's an 11-hour drive.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was that nervous.
It's your art, it's your work, it's also a ton of money. It's also just like so much pressure and stress. You have to make sure it's okay. So I feel
I'm on set. Everyone's work is on that negative.
It's dependent on you,
Depend on you. If you lose that, the gaffer's gonna choke you. The makeup artist is gonna rip your hair follicles.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes full circle back into Giallo.
It becomes a Giallo.
Giallo murder mystery.
The film gets destroyed.
Exactly. Now this is the premise of a new Giallo movie.
They should make that. That actually sounds awesome.
Should make it.
There you go.
So just to finish up, and thank you for the last hour. It's been awesome to chat about all these things.
My first podcast. So.
It's first time on the show.
It's so fun.
I feel like we have more co-hosts rotating than actual guests. Like there's just every single episode is somebody else from my life. We always like to close the show by asking for maybe like a word of advice for upcoming creatives that you could offer.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's always just been you got to focus on finding your own niche and your own thing, because everyone's a photographer now. Everyone's doing everything now, so you have to kind of like find your own style and your own thing, and also to not compare yourself to others. That's something I always struggled with, is like looking at what this photographer's doing and this photographer's doing, and like, why am I not getting this job? Why are they getting that? Like, you start to get really down on yourself. And I had to really work on that for a long time. So I feel like really just staying in your lane, being, focused on what you're doing and the progress you're making is super important, and not letting what other people are doing influence you. I also don't even like to see what other people are really shooting work-wise. I don't want to get that into my head, because I'm more inspired by movies than like photographers, you know what I mean? So I try to just stay in my lane and like do my own thing, because I think it might be the longer, harder path in some ways, because I don't shoot everything, and I don't like shoot in the studio, and I don't shoot random, streetwear. Like, I shoot very specific stuff. But I think at the end of the day, it makes you stand out, and people know your work when they look at the photo before they see your name. And I think that's pretty special. So that's my advice.
I think that's so important, actually. And I think that, like, because of Instagram, I mean, primarily people are posting videos and photos of everything. And you see other photographers' work. Me being in the music scene, seeing other bands can be really discouraging if you're not where you want to be, right? If you don't have the support you need. So I would also recommend anyone in any field to, I guess, still support your scene, but don't spend too much time online looking at other people's likes, right? And other people's kind of algorithms and output, because it can be really discouraging. And yeah.
And I think also it is like nice to support people in your scene, of course. Like, I support other photographers. I have friends that are photographers, and I'm like, I love what they do. And I also love old photographers too. But at the same time, I just try not to be like focused on that, because if you get caught up in that, also social media is so deceiving. Like, just because someone has like a big following, or they post, all this stuff, it doesn't mean that's their reality every single day. It's the highlight reel of their life. And like, people always think you're doing better than you're even doing. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's all optics.
It is all optics. Yeah.
Comparison is self-sabotaging, basically, especially
Well, what's the expression? Comparison is the thief of joy, right? That's
literally. Like, I always see it like this. Look at John Cassavetes, my favorite filmmaker. Did he ever compare himself to his contemporaries at the time, like Scorsese? No, he just made A Woman Under the Influence. He did his own thing. He made The Killing of a Chinese.
Exactly.
He always did his own thing, and now we remember him for doing his own thing and giving life to the American independent scene. So,
it can be really misleading. I have a lot of people come up to me, and because I have a lot of output both in the band and in the podcast, which we're doing like 2 episodes a week, so this won't be out in like 2 weeks or whatever, but like, people will be like, oh, like, you're doing so well, like, congratulations. And I'm like, dude, I didn't see you like comment, like, I've never seen you share my shit, but thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so totally.
It can be very difficult to gauge where you're at. You just have to be happy with what you're doing and where you're going, I think.
Yes.
The important part.
Be content.
I agree. Yeah, I think, and also you just have to not be afraid to go for whatever you're trying to do, because like, again, everything's so oversaturated. Everyone's doing everything in this day and age. Like in Cassavetes' day, there weren't like as many people doing what he, directing and doing that. There was like a smaller group of people. Now everyone has access to everything. So I feel like you just really have to not have fear. I think fear always holds you back. Like, I get this way too, where I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I should do this. And I hold myself back. You just have to go for everything. Like, I'm trying to be a yes man now, because I used to be like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, and just like, or I'm going to stay home tonight. No, I'm going to go to this event because I'm going to go network with these people and meet people, and I'm going to push myself, and I'm going to say yes to this project because it could be really cool for me. It could really help me to like push my work forward, and work with new people and collaborate. Because I was in a very isolated work zone for a long time, just because I could do the makeup, I could do the hair, I could do the styling. So I would just do everything. And now I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to shoot, and I'm going to hire some people to do the rest of the stuff, because collaborating makes the project better. So I don't know. I'm just trying to push myself forward and just, not hold myself back.
Yeah, and what you were saying about kind of going out and making that effort, it's about having the holiday mentality when you're at home, you know, which when I'm on holidays, when I went to the Netherlands and Spain, I was a yes man too. And I would go out every night. I didn't care what the fuck was happening. It didn't matter how I felt, what was going on. I was committed to just being social, you know, and when you get comfortable and you have your friends or your certain circles, you kind of go away from that. And I think that that can also damage creativity, you know? It's important to always be learning and meeting new people.
Absolutely. I feel like since I've put this book out and I've been in that zone, I've just been going to everything. I feel like my social life is like soaring right now. Like I feel like I'm now feeling very creative again and inspired. And I feel like that's because I'm just doing things again, you know, like I'm out there and meeting so many cool people. I'm in such a great scene in LA and it's like, why not? So I think that's very important to keep the creativity going and to push the work forward.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Thank you, Kristin. Thank you, John, for the last hour. It's been really fucking awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun. So great to meet both of you.